Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. So today we'll discuss about this Diwali and Govardhan Puja. We'll start with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimira Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shwa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschyat Deshatarine Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpathe Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaham Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So today is the auspicious tithi of Govardhan Puja. We'll discuss the pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, what happened on this day. Specifically, Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill. And yesterday was the occasion of Diwali. According to Vaishnav calendar, yesterday was Diwali and today is Govardhan Puja. So briefly, we'll discuss about the significance of Diwali and then we'll go into the Govardhan Puja. So actually this Deepavali or Diwali is a festival which was to welcome Lord Ramachandra. When Ramachandra killed Ravana on the day of Dussehra, we know Navaratri, and on the last day, Dussehra, Ramachandra killed this demon, Ravana. And Ramachandra is coming back. And Ramachandra entered Ayodhya on this day of Deepavali or Diwali. And all the Ajodhya-vasis, they were very excited to receive Ramachandra after 14 years of Vanavas. So that time they lit up the whole Ayodhya Nagari with lakhs or millions of diyas or lamps. So this is the festival, and this Diwali happens to be in the Kartik Amavasya. So on that day there is no moon. So that's also another reason the Ayodhya-vasis wanted to lit up the whole Nagari, whole city of Ayodhya. So Ramchandra should not have any difficulty to find the way. Okay, so we see that how Ramchandra is coming back with this Pushpak Viman. This airplane is called Pushpak, and it was Ravana's property. And after conquering Ravana, Ramchandra used it, and all the Vanar Senas and all the Rakshasas of Lanka, they also came along Ramachandra. So when Ramchandra was coming back, Ramchandra told everyone that you can, told Vibhishan that you can stay in Lanka and rule over the kingdom, and the Vanaras, you can go back to Kishkinda. But they expressed desire that, oh, Ramachandra, we also want to participate in this grand festival. Yeah, the Ayodhya-vasis will be welcoming you and we want to witness that. So therefore Ramchandra told, okay, no problem, you come. So this Pushpa Viman is a mysterious airplane which can accommodate its size according to the number of passengers. So when everyone came aboard, this Pushpak Viman carried everyone and came to this Ayodhya. Before coming to this Ayodhya, Ramchandra halted for some time in the ashram of Bharadwaj Muni. During that time, Ramchandra told Hanuman that you go and you should inform Bharat that I have returned. And then you should also notice the expression on Bharat's face. If Bharat is very much excited and looks happy, then you can narrate about what all happened during this time. And if Bharat is not so happy, that means Bharat was happy when Ramchandra was in the Vanavas. So there is a possibility, and Ramchandra is so great that he is even considering that possibility, that if you see Bharat is a little unhappy, then you can tell that Ramchandra wants you to be the king. Okay, so this is how Ramchandra was so great. He did not have any attachment and he had pure love for his brothers. So this is how Bharat was actually very, very happy. And then immediately the whole Ayodhya Nagari started preparing how to receive Ramachandra. Then finally Ramchandra came, Ram, Sita, Lakshman, Hanuman, and all other associates. And Ayodhya welcomed them with like a great pompous festival. So we can see this is how Ramchandra is coming back. So this is how historically we celebrate Diwali to welcome Lord Ramachandra. So on this day of Diwali, people lit up lamps just to welcome Ramachandra in their homes and on the courtyard of their heart. So actually Ramchandra was in Treta Yuga, performed pastime, but still Aprakat Leela is going on and we can welcome Ramchandra in our heart. So that is how, that's the traditional way, a Vaishnava way of celebrating this Diwali festival. Another thing happened, another pastime of Krishna happened on this day, the Damodar Lila. Damodar Lila actually happened on Diwali. The whole month we are observing this Damodar Lila, but particularly on this day of Diwali, Damodar Lila actually took place. So we know that we already discussed in a separate video about this Damodar Lila, how Krishna came to Mother Yashoda early morning. Mother Yashoda was churning butter, and then because Mother Yashoda is receiving complaints from the neighbors, Krishna is going to their homes to steal butter. So Mother Yashoda thought that I will make high quality butter in home so that Krishna does not have to go. And then Mother Yashoda went to attend the milk and put down Krishna. So Krishna was very angry and Krishna broke all the butter pots and distributed the butter among the monkeys. Then Mother Yashoda started chasing Krishna with a stick in hand. And this is a very important pastime because this is the only pastime where we see that the devotee is chasing after Lord. Lord is fearful of the devotee. Kunti Maharani expresses this in her prayers in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 8th chapter. Kunti Maharani says about Mother Yashoda, Gopya dade tvai krita gashidam tavat yate dashashru kalilanjana shambhamaksham bhaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya sthitasya shamam vimohayati virepi yad bhiveti. This Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and virepi yad bhiveti, the fear personified, fears from God, Krishna. And that Krishna is now fearful of Mother Yashoda. So what is the position of Mother Yashoda? I am not able to conceive the position of Mother Yashoda. So this pastime shows that how Krishna is so great. Krishna is the Supreme Person of Godhead. But Bhakti is so powerful that it can even conquer the Supreme Lord. And finally, Mother Yashoda bound Krishna, and Krishna was very fearful. Seeing Krishna is very fearful, Mother Yashoda threw away the stick and she bound Krishna with ropes with that ulukhal. And then later on, Krishna was crawling with that ulukhal and tried to pass between two Arjuna trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. And those two Arjuna trees were Nal Kubera and Manigrib, two sons of Kubera. They were liberated by Krishna and they offered their prayers to Krishna after liberation, and Krishna gave them the benediction of pure devotional service. And this is how Satyavrata Muni also prays to Krishna that I also want that pure devotional service. Kuber Atmajau Baddha Murtaiva Yadvat Tvaya Mochitau Bhakti Bhajau Krataucha Tatha Prema Bhaktim Shwakamya Prayacha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareha. So this is how the Damodar Lila also took place. So that was about yesterday, and today is Govardhan Lila or Govardhan Puja. So what happened on this tithi? Krishna lifted this Govardhan hill, and before that Govardhan Puja was going on. So we will discuss that pastime in detail. It's from the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, and we are reading from the Krishna book, where the 10th canto pastimes are summarized by Srila Prabhupada, and chapter 14 discusses worshipping the Govardhan hill. While engaged with the Brahmanas who were too much involved in the performance of Vedic sacrifices, Krishna and Balaram also saw that the cowherd men were preparing similar sacrifice in order to pacify Indra, the king of heaven, who is responsible for supplying water. So Krishna saw that the Vrajavasis, they are preparing for Indra Puja, just to pacify Indra, the king of heaven. As stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the devotee of Krishna has strong and firm faith in the understanding that if he is simply engaged in Krishna consciousness and Krishna's transcendental loving service, then he is freed from all other obligations. A pure devotee of Lord Krishna does not have to perform any of the ritualistic functions enjoined in the Vedas, nor is he required to worship any demigods. Being a devotee of Lord Krishna, one is understood to have performed all kinds of Vedic rituals and all kinds of worship of the demigods. One does not develop devotional service for Krishna by performing the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or worshipping the demigods, but it should be understood that one who is engaged fully in the service of the Lord has already fulfilled all Vedic injunctions. So Krishna, whenever comes to this world, what are the objectives? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. And dharma means whatever Krishna spoke in Bhagavad Gita. So in Bhagavad Gita, we see that Krishna explains there is no need to worship the demigod separately. That's like bribing the government officers. There is no need to bribe the government officers. You just have to pay your tax to the government. So similarly, we have to worship Krishna. And Krishna is the source of everything. So if Krishna is satisfied, we do not need to worship anyone. Srimad Bhagavatam also explains this, that Yatha tarur mula nishechanena tripyanti tat skanda bhujaupushakha pranopaharat jatindriyanam tathaiva sarvarhanam achyuteja. Sarva arhanam. All worships are done when you worship Krishna. So when Krishna is saying that Vrajavasis, who are considered to be the greatest devotees of Krishna, they are very simple-hearted people, and they started offering Indra Puja because it was a tradition to offer puja to Indra. So Krishna thought that I should oppose this. In order to stop all such activities by his devotees, Krishna wanted to firmly establish exclusive devotional service during his presence in Vrindavan. Because he is the omniscient personality of Godhead, Krishna knew that the cowherd men were preparing for Indra sacrifice. But as a matter of etiquette, he began to inquire with great honor and submission from the elder personalities like Nanda Maharaj. So Krishna started questioning Nanda Maharaj why this Indra Puja is being done. Krishna asked his father, my dear father, what is this arrangement going on for a great sacrifice? What is the result of such sacrifice? And for whom it is meant? How is it performed? Will you kindly let me know? I am very eager to know this procedure, so please explain to me the purpose of this sacrifice. Upon this inquiry, his father Nanda Maharaj remained silent, thinking that his young boy would not be able to understand the intricacies of performing the yajna. Krishna, however, persisted, my dear father, for those who are liberal and saintly, there is no secrecy. So you should not keep any secret. You should tell me. They do not think anyone to be a friend, an enemy, or a natural or a neutral party, because they are always open to everyone. And even for those who are not so liberal, nothing should be kept secret from the family members and friends, although secrecy may be maintained for persons who are inimical. So secrecy is only for inimical persons. For the family members, there is no secrecy. So why you are keeping secret from me? Therefore, you cannot keep any secrets from me. Krishna, little Krishna, is telling this to Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj is astonished to hear the logic of Krishna. All persons are engaged in fruitive activities. Some know what these activities are and they know the result, and some execute activities Without knowing the purpose or the result, a person who acts with full knowledge gets the full result. One who acts without knowledge does not get such a perfect result. Therefore, please let me know the purpose of the sacrifice you are going to perform. Is it according to Vedic injunction, or is it simply a popular ceremony? Kindly let me know in detail about the sacrifice. So this is how Krishna inquired from Nanda Maharaj. On hearing this inquiry from Krishna, Maharaj Nanda replied, "My dear boy, this ceremonial performance is more or less traditional because rainfall is due to the mercy of King Indra and the clouds are his representatives. And because water is so important for our living, we must show some gratitude to the controller of this rainfall, Maharaj Indra. So we are arranging, therefore, to pacify King Indra because he has very kindly sent us clouds to pour down a sufficient quantity of rain for successful agricultural activities. Water is very important. Without rainfall, we cannot farm or produce grain. And without grain, we cannot live. Therefore, rain is necessary for successful religious ceremonies, economic development, and ultimately liberation. So, we should not give up this traditional ceremonial function. If one gives it up, being influenced by lust, greed, or fear, then it does not look very good for him. So, Maharaj Nanda explained that this is more or less traditional activity and as a gratitude to Indra because Indra is giving us rain. And because we are a Vaishya community and we have to, the main duties for a Vaishya is Krishi Goraksha Vanijam, Vaishya Karma Shabhavajam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explained. The prominent activities of Vaishya community is Krishi, agriculture, Goraksha means protecting the cows, and Vanija, trading. So for agriculture and cow protection, all these activities, they need sufficient quantity of water. So therefore, they are worshipping Indra, and it's a tradition among the Vaishya community. But Krishna also said in Bhagavad Gita, Annad bhavanti bhutani parjannad anna shambhava, yagyad bhavati parjanna yagya karma samudbhava. So this means Anyad bhavanti bhutani. The bhutani or the living entities, they subsist on grains. Parjannat anna shambhava. And grains are produced because of rains. Yagyat bhavati parjanna. By fire sacrifice or by performing the occupational duty, that is called yagya. By performing the occupational duty, by doing yagya, this rain happens. And what is the definition of yagya? Yagya karma samudbhava, the occupational duty or prescribed duty for the age. In different ages, the definition of yagya is different. Like Kriteya dhyayato Vishnum, Tretayam yayato makhi, Dwapare paracharayam, Kalotad harikirtanat. In the Satyuga, the definition of yagya is Kriteya dhyayato Vishnum, the meditation of Vishnu. Tretayam yajato makhi. In the Treta Yuga, definition of yagya is yajato makhi, conducting fire sacrifice. Dwapare paricharayam. In the Dwapar Yuga, the prescribed duty is paricharya of the Lord or worshipping the deity. And Kalota the Hari Kirtanat. In the Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is Harinam Sankirtan or chanting the holy names of the Lord. So this is how, if we do the prescribed duty for the age, and all these prescribed duties for all ages, they are for Lord Vishnu. In the Satya Yuga, meditate on Vishnu. In Treta Yuga, do Yagya for Vishnu. In Dwapar Yuga, do deity worship of Vishnu. And in Kali Yuga, do Harinam Sankirtan. So all these activities are for Hari, Vishnu, Krishna, Vishnu Tattvas, not for any demigods. So demigods are appointed by the Supreme Lord and they are just doing their duty. There is no need to worship them or bribe them separately. We have to just worship the Supreme Lord. So this is a big message Krishna is giving through this Govardhan Leela, that we should worship Krishna only because Krishna is the original source of everything. And Krishna has appointed different demigods. So there is no need to worship these demigods separately. So when Brajavasis wanted to worship Indra, Krishna objected. So this is how Krishna is showing personally. After hearing this, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the presence of his father and all other elder cowherd men of Vrindavan, spoke in such a way to make the heavenly king Indra very angry. So now Krishna is speaking in such a way that made Indra very angry. He suggested that they forego the sacrifice, and reasons for discouraging the sacrifice performed to please Indra were twofold. First reason, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, there is no need to worship the demigods for any material advancement. All results derived from worshipping the demigods are simply temporary. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavattelpamedhasham devan deva jajojanti madbhakta janti mamapi. And only those who are less intelligent are interested in temporary result. Kama istaisthir hita jnana prapaddante anna devata. So as per dharma, we should not worship the demigods as per Bhagavad Gita. That's the first reason. Second reason, whatever temporary result one derives from worshipping the demigods is actually granted by the permission of the Supreme Person of Godhead. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta shraddhayarchitam ichchati tasya tasya achalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyaham sataya shraddhaya yukta tasya aradhana mihate lavate cha tata kaman mayaiva vihitan hitan. Krishna says mayaiva vihitan hitan. Whatever benedictions the demigods are giving are actually given by me, mayaiva. So there is no point in worshipping the demigods because the benediction we are getting is actually granted by Krishna, and it is being granted through the demigods because we approach demigod. We did not approach Krishna directly. If we approach Krishna directly, Krishna can give that benediction directly. So there are two reasons, prominent reasons for not worshipping the demigods. This is clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita. Mayaiva vihitan hitan. Whatever benefit is supposed to be derived from the demigods is actually bestowed by Supreme Person of Godhead. Without the permission of the Supreme Person of Godhead, one cannot bestow any benefit upon others. So demigods are dependent on Krishna. Unless Krishna sanctions, they cannot give benediction to their worshippers. But sometimes the demigods become puffed up by the influence of material nature, thinking themselves all in all, just like Indra is now puffed up. Indra is not able to recognize Krishna. Indra is thinking, a small child in Vrindavan is trying to stop my worship. Such is the audacity of this child. So Brahma is not able to recognize Krishna. So therefore, this Govardhan Lila is also called Indra Bimohan Lila, where Indra was illusioned. There is also Brahma Bimohan Lila, we know, where Brahma was illusioned and Brahma tried to test Krishna by abducting the cows and cowherd friends of Krishna. So this is Indra Bimohan Lila, where Krishna is thinking that Krishna is, Indra is thinking Indra is great and Indra is not able to recognize Krishna. And they forget the supremacy of the personality of Godhead. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated that in this instant, Krishna wanted to make King Indra angry. Krishna's advent was especially meant for the annihilation of the demons and protection of the devotees. King Indra was certainly a devotee, not a demon. But because he was puffed up, Krishna wanted to teach him a lesson. So in general, the devatas, demigods in the heaven, they are also devotees. And we see that Krishna comes again and again just to save the demigods. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the most important verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Paribhasha Sutra, also mentions Indra. It says, Ete chamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Midayanti Juge Juge. This is a very important verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, and Jiva Goswami calls this is a Paribhasha Sutra for Srimad Bhagavatam. The entire Srimad Bhagavatam should be studied in the light of this verse. If any verse is having an ambiguous meaning, that should be disambiguated by the meaning of this verse. This is such an important verse. Ete chamsa kalapumsa. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. It says that Krishna alone is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Midayanti Juge Juge. Whenever Indra and the demigods are disturbed by the torture of the demons, Krishna takes birth or Krishna appears in this world, and then Krishna handles the situation, annihilates the miscreants like that. So for Indra, Krishna is taking many appearances just to save demigods and Indra. So certainly they are devotees. But in this particular pastime, Indra forgot the supremacy of Krishna and Indra was little puffed up. So Krishna, as a loving father, wanted to correct Indra. We all are the children of God, and similarly the demigods are also children of God, because the demigods are nothing very different from us. The demigods Indra, Agni, Varuna, Chandra, they are also normal living entities like us. Due to their some pious credit, they have been awarded those administrative positions. But they are also Jiva Tattva. Even Brahmaji is also Jiva Tattva. They are not Vishnu Tattva. Krishna, Vishnu, Ramachandra, Vamana, Nrsimha, these are Vishnu Tattva. So here Krishna is trying to teach a lesson to King Indra. He first made Indra angry by stopping the Indra Puja, which had been arranged by the cowherd men in Vrindavan. With this purpose in mind, Krishna began to talk as if he were an atheist supporting the philosophy of Karma Mimamsa. So just to make Indra angry, Krishna is speaking an atheistic philosophy of Karma Mimamsa, which advocates of this philosophy do not accept the supreme authority of personality of Godhead. They put forward the argument that if anyone works nicely, the result is sure to come. Their opinion is that even if there is a God who gives man the result of his fruitive activities, there is no need to worship him, because unless man works, he cannot bestow any good result. They say that instead of worshipping a demigod or God, people should give attention to their own duties, and thus the good result will surely come. Lord Krishna began to speak to his father according to the principles of Karma Mimamsa philosophy. So here Krishna is speaking Karma Mimamsa, which says law of karma is all in all. There is no need to worship demigods or gods, anyone. You do not need to worship anyone. Just follow law of karma. You have to do your duty and you will be granted the results. So actually this is an atheistic philosophy, and this is contradictory to what Krishna spoke in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So then why Krishna is speaking this atheistic philosophy? Because now in this pastime, Krishna is not in the mood of teaching us philosophy. Krishna is in this pastime, and the sole purpose of Krishna is to make Indra angry. So certainly this Karma Mimamsa philosophy is not correct. The philosophy that Krishna discussed in Bhagavad Gita is the topmost of devotional service. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told, Manmana bhava mad bhakta mad jaji. So Krishna is telling, worship me. 18.65, 9.34, twice Krishna spoke this. But Karma Mimamsa philosophy says, do not worship Krishna also, do not worship Indra also, do not worship anyone. So that's not correct. But here, Krishna is in the pastime, and Krishna wanted to make Indra angry. So Krishna is trying to say that what is the need of worshipping Indra? It's Indra's duty. Indra has to give the rains and the clouds. And your duty as a Vaishya is to do Krishi Goraksha Vanijya. So you continue your duty and Indra will do his duty. So what is the need of bribing Indra by offering this sacrifice? So that was the point. So Krishna said, my dear father, I don't think you need to worship any demigod for the successful performance of your agricultural activities. Every living being is born according to his past karma and lives this life simply taking the result of his present karma. Everyone is born in different types or species of life according to his past activities, and he gets his next birth according to the activities of this life. Different grades of material happiness and distress, comforts and disadvantages of life are different results of different kinds of activities from either the past or the present life. So Krishna is speaking, karma is the end of everything. You just have to do your karma and you will have to reap the results of your karma. Maharaj Nanda and other elder members argued that without satisfying the predominating God, one cannot derive any good result simply by material activities. This is actually the fact. For example, it is sometimes found that in spite of first-class medical help and treatment by a first-class physician, a diseased person dies. It is concluded, therefore, the first-class medical treatment or the attempts of a first-class physician are not themselves the cause for curing a patient. There must be a hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here, Srila Prabhupada counteracted the Karma Mimamsa philosophy. So Karma Mimamsa philosophy is not correct, and this is the refutation of that. So sometimes we do our karma, our duty perfectly, still there can be failure. So there is a hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna also spoke this in Bhagavad Gita. Adhishtanam tatha kartha karanam cha prithak vidas vividas cha prithak chesta daivam chaivatra panchamam. So 5 factors for success in any activity. One of them is Daiva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So karma is not all in all. Karma is one of the factors. So karma philosophy is not correct. But here Krishna's intention is to invoke anger in Indra. Similarly, a fathers and mothers taking care of their children is not the cause of the children's comfort. Sometimes it is found that in spite of all care by the parents, the children go bad or succumb to death. Therefore, material causes are not sufficient for results. There are some daivi causes. There must be the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nanda Maharaj therefore advocated that in order to get good results for agricultural activities, they must satisfy Indra. So Nanda Maharaj tried to counteract Krishna's arguments. Because everyone knows that Krishna is a small boy, and because of Krishna, if you stop Indra sacrifice and if something inauspicious happens, then what will happen? The superintending deity of the rain supply, Indra, we should worship. Lord Krishna nullified this argument, saying that the demigods give results only to persons who have executed their prescribed duties. If you do not do your Vaishya duty, Indra cannot do anything. So you do your duty, you will get results. The demigods cannot give any good results to a person who has not executed the prescribed duties. Therefore, demigods are dependent on the execution of duties and are not absolute in awarding good results to anyone. So why should one care about them? My dear father, Lord Krishna said, there is no need to worship the demigod Indra. Everyone has to achieve the result of their own work. We can actually see that one becomes busy according to natural tendency of his work. And according to that natural tendency, all living entities, whether human beings or demigods, achieve their respective results. All living entities achieve higher or lower bodies and create enemies, friends, neutral parties only because of their different kinds of work. One should be careful to discharge duties according to his natural instinct and not divert attention to worship of various demigods. So Krishna is again and again emphasizing on the duty and not on worshipping the demigods. The demigods will be satisfied by proper execution of all duties. There is no need to worship them. Let us rather perform the prescribed duties very nicely. Actually, one cannot be happy without executing his prescribed duty properly. One who does not therefore properly discharge his prescribed duties is compared to an unchaste wife. The proper prescribed duty of the Brahmanas is to study the Vedas. Proper duty of the royal order of the Kshatriyas is engagement in protecting the citizens. The proper duty of the Vaishya community is agriculture, trade, and cow protection. Krishi Goraksha Banijya. And the proper duty of the Sudras is to serve the higher classes, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. We belong to the Vaishya community, and our proper duty is to farm, trade, agricultural produce, and protect cows, or to take to banking. Krishna identified himself with the Vaishya community because Nanda Maharaj was protecting many cows and Krishna was taking care of them. He enumerated 4 kinds of business engagement for the Vaishya community: agriculture, trade, protection of cows, and banking. Although the Vaishyas can take to any of these occupations, the men of Vrindavan were engaged primarily in the protection of the cows. Krishna further explained to his father, the cosmic manifestation is going on under the influence of the 3 modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. These are the 3 modes. These 3 modes are the causes of creation, maintenance, and destruction. The cloud is caused by action of mode of passion. Therefore, it is the mode of passion which causes rainfall. And after the rainfall, the living entity derived the result, success in agricultural work. What then has Indra to do with this affair? And this is automatically happening by the 3 modes of material nature. Even if you do not please Indra, what can he do? We do not derive any special benefit from Indra. Even if he is there, he pours water on the ocean also, where there is no need of water. So he is pouring water on the ocean or on the land. It does not depend on worshipping him. This is a strong argument. Krishna is telling Indra is also pouring water on the ocean. Is ocean worshipping Indra? Indra is also giving water to ocean. Why? So Indra is obliged to give water. So even if you do not worship, Indra will also pour water to Vrindavan. Why not? As far as we are concerned, we do not need to go to another city or village or foreign country. There are palatial buildings in the cities, but we are satisfied living in the forest of Vrindavan. Our specific relationship is with Govardhan Hill or Vrindavan forest and nothing more. Now Krishna is introducing the true agenda of Krishna, that you should worship Govardhan instead of Indra. I therefore request you, my dear father, to begin a sacrifice which will satisfy the local Brahmanas and Govardhan Hill. Let us have nothing to do with Indra. So Krishna is not telling worship me, but indirectly Krishna is engaging the inhabitants of Vrindavan in the worship of the cows and the Brahmanas. Why? Because in the Pranam mantra of Krishna we see Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cham Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So if you worship Go and Brahmana, the cows and the Brahmana, then Krishna is automatically pleased. And this hill is known as Govardhan, means it nourishes. Vardhan means it increases the population of cows and it nourishes the cows, because in Govardhan there is grass, there is water. So Govardhan supplies too many things that will nourish the cows. And therefore Srimati Radharani spoke a very wonderful verse to depict Govardhan. Antaya madri ravala haridasha varyo यद राम कृष्ण चरण स्पर्श प्रमोद मानम तनोति सह गो गणयोस्तयोर्यात् पानीय शूय वशकंदर कंद मूले. So this Govardhan is best among the devotees of Balaram and Krishna. This Balaram and Krishna used to do different types of pastimes in this Govardhan hill, in the caves of Govardhan. And this Govardhan is supplying nutritious foods to the cows. So therefore, Govardhan is serving Krishna in all possible ways. So Govardhan is the best devotee. So identity of Govardhan is very special. Govardhan is also Vishnu Tattva, and at the same time, Govardhan is also Bhakta Tattva. Govardhan can be called the best of the devotees, and Govardhan is also same as Krishna. Because Govardhan is serving Krishna, Govardhan is the best of devotees. And because this Govardhan hill is Krishna himself, Krishna will accept the offerings as Govardhan hill, we will see. So, Govardhan is both Krishna himself and Krishna's devotee. And we have not, let us have nothing to do with Indra. After hearing this statement by Krishna, Nanda Maharaj replied, my dear boy, since you are asking, I shall arrange for a separate sacrifice for the local Brahmanas and Govardhan hill. But for the present, let me execute this sacrifice known as Indra Yajna. Krishna replied, my dear father, do not delay. The sacrifice you propose for Govardhan and the local Brahmanas will take much time to arrange for another sacrifice. Better take this arrangement and paraphernalia we have already made for Indra Yajna and immediately engage them to satisfy Govardhan and the local Brahmanas. Maharaj Nanda finally relented. The cowherd men then inquired from Krishna how he wanted the yajna performed, and Krishna gave them the following directions. Prepare very nice foods of all descriptions from the grain and ghee collected from for the yajna. Prepare rice, dal, then halwa, pakoda, puri, all kinds of milk preparations such as sweet rice, rabdi, sweet balls, sandesh, rasgulla, laddu, and invite the learned brahmanas who can chant the Vedic hymns and offer oblations to fire. The brahmanas should be given all kinds of grains in charity, then decorate all the cows and feed them well. After performing this, give money in charity to the brahmanas as far as the lower animals are concerned, such as dogs, and the lower grades of people, such as the chandalas, the fifth class of men, who are considered untouchable. They also may be given sumptuous prasadam. After nice grasses have been given to the cows, the sacrifice known as Govardhan Puja may immediately begin. The sacrifice will very much satisfy me, Krishna said, because Krishna himself is Govardhan. In this statement, Lord Krishna practically described the whole economy of the Vaishya community. In all communities in human society, including the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, Chandalas, and even in the animal kingdom, including the cows, dogs, goats, everyone has his part to play. Each is to work in cooperation for the total benefit of all society, which includes not only the animate objects, but also inanimate objects like hills and land. The Vaishya community is specifically responsible for economic improvement of the society by producing grain, by giving protection to the cows, by transporting food when needed, and by banking and finance. So this is how this Govardhan Puja, all the classes of the society are engaged in this. And not only animate objects, but inanimate objects are also there. So this establishes the ecosystem very nicely. From this statement, we also learn that although the cats and dogs, which have now become so important, are not to be neglected, cow protection is actually more important than protection of cats and dogs. Another hint we get from these statements is that the chandalas or the untouchables are also not to be neglected by the higher classes. Krishna wants all of them to be taken care and should be given necessary protection. Everyone is important, but some are directly responsible for the advancement of human society, and some are only indirectly responsible. However, when Krishna consciousness is there, then everyone's total benefit is taken care of. The sacrifice known as Govardhan Puja is observed in the Krishna consciousness movement. Lord Chaitanya has recommended that since Krishna is worshipable, so his land, Vrindavan and Govardhan Hill is also worshipable. To confirm this statement, Lord Krishna said that the Govardhan Puja is as good as worship of him. From that day, Govardhan Puja has been going on and it is known as Annakota. In all the temples of Vrindavan or outside Vrindavan, huge quantities of food are prepared in this ceremony and are very sumptuously distributed to the general population. Sometimes the food is thrown to the crowds and they enjoy collecting it off the ground. From this, we can understand the prasadam offered to Krishna never becomes polluted, even if it touches the ground. The people therefore collect and eat it with great satisfaction. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Indra thus advised the cowherd men to stop Indra Puja and begin Govardhan Puja in order to chastise Indra, who was very much puffed up, being the supreme controller and of the heavenly planets. The honest and simple cowherd men, headed by Nanda Maharaj, accepted Krishna's proposal and executed in detail everything he advised. They performed Govardhan worship and circumambulation of the hill. Following is the inauguration of Govardhan Puja. People in Vrindavan still dress nicely and assemble near Govardhan Hill and offer worship and circumambulate the hill, leading their cows all around. According to the instruction of Lord Krishna, Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd men called the learned Brahmanas and began worship of Govardhan Hill by chanting Vedic hymns and offering prasadam. The inhabitants of Vrindavan assembled together, decorated their cows, gave them grass. Keeping the cows in front, they began to circumambulate Govardhan Hill. The gopis dressed themselves very luxuriantly and sat in bull-driven carts, chanting the glories of Krishna's pastimes. The Brahmanas assembled there to act as priests for Govardhan Puja, offered their blessings to the cowherd men and their wives, the gopis. When everything was complete, Krishna assumed a great transcendental form and declared the inhabitants of Vrindavan that he himself is Govardhan Hill, in order to convince the devotees that Govardhan Hill and Krishna himself are identical. There's a very nice picture of this. Krishna as Govardhan. Yeah, this one. So this is how everyone was worshipping Krishna with the cows and the carts and the offerings. And Krishna manifested in front of everyone that Krishna himself is Govardhan Hill. And Krishna was eating, taking all those offerings made by the Brajvasis. Then Krishna began to eat all the food offered there. The identity of Krishna and Govardhan Hill is still honored. And great devotees take rocks from Govardhan Hill and worship them exactly as they worship the deity of Krishna in the temples. So Govardhan Shila worship is going on, like Shalagram Shila. Govardhan Shila is also non-different from Krishna. The followers of Krishna consciousness movement may therefore collect small rocks or pebbles from the Govardhan hill and worship them at home, because this worship is as good as deity worship. But the point to be noted here, it should be gifted to you by some Brajavasis, then only you can take. Otherwise, it's not allowed to take anything from Vrindavan. The form of Krishna who began to eat the offerings was separately constituted, and Krishna himself, along with other inhabitants of Vrindavan, offered obeisances to that deity as well as Govardhan Hill. In offering obeisances to a huge form of Krishna and Govardhan Hill, Krishna declared, "Just see how Govardhan Hill has assumed this huge form and is favoring us by accepting all the offerings." Krishna also declared at the meeting, "One who neglects the worship of Govardhan Puja, I am personally conducting it, will not be happy." So the devotees, we as a devotees, we should perform this Govardhan Puja. There are many snakes on Govardhan Hill, and persons neglecting the prescribed duty of Govardhan Puja will be bitten by these snakes and killed, in order to assure the good fortune of the cows and themselves. All people of Vrindavan near Govardhan must worship the hill as prescribed by me. So Krishna made this as a rule that you should worship Govardhan. Thus, performing the Govardhan Puja sacrifice, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan followed the instructions of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, and afterwards they returned to their respective homes. So the next chapter speaks about devastating rainfall in Vrindavan, which is conducted by Indra. So we briefly will discuss that. So after this, what happens? Indra is very, very angry. And Indra says that finally these Brajavasis, they have lost their intelligence. And this small boy, Krishna, is so audacious that this boy stopped my sacrifice. So I am very, very angry. Although Indra has no point to become angry, because Indra is not supposed to get that puja. Indra is a servant of Krishna, and as a duty, Indra has to orchestrate the rainfall. Indra should not take any bribe, but he was so much used to taking it that now he is angry because Brajavasi stopped. And Krishna particularly wanted this, that Indra should become angry. So Indra immediately called the Samvartaka cloud, which is called during devastation. So when the universal devastation happens, there is Agni also, and there is huge rainfall and floods are there. So during that time, Samvartaka cloud is there, and Samvartaka cloud gives huge amount of water that can drown the entire Vrindavan. So Indra thought that I will particularly destroy this Vrindavan now. Krishna sent that Samvartaka cloud. Now, when everyone saw that this Samvartaka cloud is there and huge rainfall is taking place, then everyone was very, very fearful. And everyone thought that maybe because we have followed the prescription given by Krishna, and because we have not followed the tradition of Indra Puja, Indra is now angry. So everyone came to take the shelter of Krishna. Everyone told Krishna, Krishna, now you have to save us. You told us to do Govardhan Puja, and we did, and now Indra is angry. In many previous occasions, you have saved us. So you need to save us now. So Krishna told, do not worry. Indra cannot do anything to you. And Krishna actually wanted Indra to exercise all his power. In spite of Indra's best effort, Indra will not be able to do anything to any of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, even any of the plants of Vrindavan. So Krishna told, you all should assemble near this Govardhan hill, because you have worshipped Govardhan. Govardhan will protect you. You just see, everyone was assembled near this Govardhan, and Krishna then performed the most magnanimous pastime of lifting the Govardhan hill in the little finger of left hand. And Krishna kept like that Govardhan hill for 7 days and 7 nights. Indra was trying for 7 days to drown Vrindavan, but Indra could not do anything. This Govardhan acted as a huge umbrella, and Krishna's hand acted as a stick of that umbrella. And under that umbrella, the whole Vrindavan came. And it was a huge party. Generally, when Krishna goes to herd the cows in the morning, gopis miss Krishna. And Krishna's friends, sakhas, they get Krishna's association. During the night time, gopis get Krishna. And the sakhas, they think of the next morning when we will get association of Krishna. But during this Govardhan Lila, everyone, the Sakhas and the Gopis and the mothers, everyone was getting Krishna's association for constantly 7 days and 7 nights. So although Indra wanted to drown Vrindavan and Indra wanted to disturb the peace of Vrindavan, actually everyone was super happy. And because of that rain, there was little cold. So immediately Krishna told that Sudarshan, you should circumambulate this Govardhan with such a speed that that your friction with air generates sufficient heat and the temperature is adjusted properly. So Krishna arranged for air conditioning, heating also, and everything was very perfect. Within that, the party was going on, and Krishna lifted this Govardhan hill. Under the Govardhan, whole Vrindavan is enjoying. So this is how Indra was perplexed. And what to speak of the Brajavasis and the Vrindavan Dham? The huge rain was falling on top of Govardhan. One sand of Govardhan was not displaced. What to speak of the Brajavasis? One leaf from any plant of Govardhan was not displaced. So Indra practically could not do anything at all, and Indra was thoroughly defeated. Then Indra could identify that this is not some ordinary child. This is Lord Krishna, and Indra was very repentant that how could I do such a thing to my master. And then Indra came, offered obeisances, and he was asking forgiveness from Krishna. So BBT has a painting, I think, for that also. Indra asking forgiveness. Yeah. So Indra came with the elephant, and Indra was hiding behind Suravi because Indra was very, very ashamed to go in front of Krishna. So Indra thought that how should I approach Krishna? So let me approach Krishna by taking the help of Suravi cow, because cow is very favorite to Krishna. And this Govardhan is also Govardhan mountain is nourishing the cows. So Krishna, this Indra came behind Suravi cow, and Indra did Abhishek of Krishna and tried to pacify Krishna by offering different prayers. And finally, Krishna gave him a good lesson. Indra learned. Uh, for some time, Indra forgot that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Controller. And after this Indra Bimohan Lila, Indra was again situated in proper consciousness. So this is how Krishna performed this Govardhan Lila. And this is a very special pastime that happened on this day. गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय, श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, हरे कृष्ण. Any questions? Okay, so we can stop here. We'll meet again next week. Tomorrow we'll not have class. So we'll see you again next week. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.